Debt collectors are a necessary part of the consumer credit market, but they're often seen as shady individuals or businesses. It's important to understand what debt collectors do and what rights you have when dealing with them. This video will provide you with the facts about debt collectors that they don't want you to know so that you can be better informed when dealing with them. The right way for them to call, and how you can stop them. Dealing with debt collection calls can be overwhelming and annoying. Fortunately, there are facts about debt collectors that they don't want you to know that could help you take control of the situation and make them stop calling. Knowing your rights, understanding the process of debt collection, and being aware of the strategies used by debt collectors can help you protect yourself from their unwanted calls. Debt collection calls are often full of misinformation. There's a reason for this. It helps salespeople keep calling and making money. First, it is important to understand that debt collectors are not allowed by law to call you before 8 a.m. or after 9 p.m., just like your employer cannot call you during those times unless you agree beforehand. So if someone calls during that time frame and asks for more information about a debt, it is likely they are a fake debt collector trying to trick you into giving them personal information or paying the debt. So how do legitimate collectors make money? They collect on unpaid debts by calling people one-on-one, through ads in newspapers and magazines, and through letters sent to the debtor's home. Legitimate debt collectors will never threaten you with legal action if you don't pay the debt, because if they did, they would be breaking the law by threatening someone with imprisonment for not paying a debt that does not exist. Tell the collector you want them to stop calling you at work and tell them you're not allowed personal phone calls. Then ask for their mailing address and send them a written notice with a return receipt as proof, and ask them only to communicate with you via U.S. mail and provide your correct address. The collector has violated your rights and needs to be stopped. You need to take special care when dealing with debt collectors, because they can actually get you in trouble by filing false claims or harassing you. Disputing their claims or complaining about the calls won't stop the calls, but will likely bring your case to somebody's attention. If a company gets too angry with how you're treating them, they might report it as harassment and charge the collection agency back for their time spent on that call. Most of the things they say will do is not true. Debt collectors will often tell you that they can do things that they legally cannot. It's important to know your rights and to be aware of the facts about debt collection so that you can protect yourself from any unfair practices. You will learn what their true capabilities are, what you can do to protect yourself, and how to deal with them if they threaten or harass you. What debt collectors can legally do. You may have read that collectors can file lawsuits and garnish wages, but they cannot. Debt collectors may be able to report you to credit bureaus and place a negative mark on your credit reports because of your unpaid debt, but they cannot do things like arrest you or take away your assets. They also can't interfere with any other part of your life as long as you don't owe them money. They are not allowed to harass or stalk you in order to collect those debt. They push you more. Debt collectors are often known for relentless pursuit of debt payments, but many consumers aren't aware of the reality of how debt collectors operate. From the tactics they use to the laws that protect you. Here are some of the most common myths and truths about debt collection in the United States. Myth: when I don't pay my debt, my credit score will be affected. Truth: it's unlikely your credit will be affected by not paying a debt. If you're not sure whether or not your payments are affecting your score, ask for a free copy of your credit report from one of the three major bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Many collection agencies buy debt for pennies on the dollar and then try and collect the most they can because it's mostly profit. And for those agencies that are hired to handle debt for another creditor, they get a percentage of what they collect. The debt collection process for both individuals and companies can be complex, so having an understanding of how it works can help you avoid or reduce the amount of stress. How and why you don't have to tell the debt collectors everything. It's important to know that debt collectors don't always have your best interests at heart, and they may even be violating the law in their attempts to get you to pay. These debtor rights and facts can help you protect yourself from being taken advantage of and ensure a fair resolution. Debt collectors often use intimidating tactics to try and get you to pay off your debt. But it's important to remember that you don't have to tell them anything. The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, FDCPA, makes it illegal for debt collectors to contact you in an abusive way. And you are entitled to stop the harassing behavior and request a fair settlement. In order to stop the harassing behavior, you should, first, ask the debt collector to stop contacting you and send you a letter with their contact information and a statement that they are no longer contacting you. Second, send a letter of your own, called an adverse notice, informing the debt collector that you are not authorized to discuss or pay for the debt in question and that any further communication will be regarded as harassment under the FDCPA. You can also send this letter with all supporting evidence of harassment made by the debtor's phone records or copies of letters from law enforcement agencies who have been contacted. They may have no legal recourse to collect. Debt collectors may have little legal recourse to pursue individuals who have unpaid debt, but that doesn't mean they don't have other ways to collect on what is owed. In this section, we will discuss how they can still collect on debt even when they have little legal recourse. Pretrial services are given by the courts in many states in order to help solve a defendant's case without having the defendant go to trial. Usually, pretrial services will contact you about your case and let you know what, if any, agreements are available for you. You can agree or deny any of these options, and this will help the pretrial services make a recommendation for you to the judge. Any agreement made with pretrial services is binding. As an alternative, this process could save you time and money by preventing a costly trial process from starting. More often, pretrial services may be able to help you negotiate with your debt collectors to settle your debt without going to court. Pretrial service advisors can help you explore other ways of paying back your debt that does not involve going to trial, and they have access to other resources that can help you better manage payment obligations, such as loan repayment programs, bankruptcy options, and more. You may get a better deal later the month, quarter, or year. You may be able to get a better deal from debt collectors at the end of the month, quarter, or year. Knowing the facts about debt collector practices and how to negotiate with them can help you get out of debt faster and for less money. Many times, collectors will offer you a deal. What they are offering is the ability to stop calling them and harassing you if they can get more money from you. They may even offer to reduce your interest rate or extend your repayment period. If your debt is in collections, talk with a lawyer before agreeing to anything. A lawyer can help ensure that any bargain does not violate the law, such as by including an inflated interest rate or violating consumer protection laws like the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act and Federal Trade Commission laws. Debt collectors can offer deals because they know you are desperate. They will often try to get more money from you by extending the amount of time that the debt is owed, reducing the interest rate, or increasing how much you are paying on a monthly basis. What they may not tell you is that these deals could lead to penalties, higher interest rates, and other costs down the line. It is important to remember what bargaining power means in this context. It means giving up your rights for lower payments now and serious repercussions later on. Before agreeing to any deal from a collector, ask why they think their terms are reasonable, and all of your options. If these collectors threaten you with legal action, remember that by law they cannot sue you without the agreement of a court or a credible attorney. If they do, ask for their evidence that you owe the money before accepting their terms. You may be able to get the statute of limitations extended with evidence from them. They won't ruin your credit's reputation. Debt collectors often portray themselves as the enemy, but the truth is that debt collectors are just doing their job. They cannot ruin your credit unless you allow them to do so. You have the right to take action against an illegal debt collection practice, but you can't sue a debt collector over such a claim. Instead, contact the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and file a complaint. Credit is one of the most important financial aspects of an individual's life. One account alone won't ruin your credit rating. However, if you have debt collectors calling, you are likely struggling and have more than one delinquent account. And many past due accounts can damage your credit. But here's the thing. Your credit is probably already taking a beating from the missed payments. And they can't do anything with the credit reporting agency to make it worse other than continue to report monthly that it's outstanding. The CFPB takes action against illegal debt collection practices, but it is not possible to sue a debt collector in court. Instead, the Bureau can settle a dispute or take action if someone files a lawsuit. You should contact the Bureau about your concerns and find out what actions they might be able to take on your behalf. Thank you for watching.